Old friends are like old memories. They always remind you of your past, and we are reminding ourselves of the past episodes from this week of Good Company for the best of Good Company with me, Holly Taylor. Hey, thank you so much for joining us here today on Good Company, whether it be through the radio, maybe you're using a smart speaker, or streaming at joyradio.ca. It is a pleasure to be hanging out with you. And I love this story, and I want to share it with you as it's a feel-good story, and I just think sometimes we need to hear a whole lot to counteract some of the things that we are hearing on the news. And this is a story of a principal. His name, and it sounds like a very serious principal name, Principal Jason Smith. Like, that's kind of a name to be feared, maybe. And if your name's Jason or Smith, my apologies. But here's this principal, and he looks like a very big dude. And he gets a call. Raven's acting up again. Raven. She'd been in and out of the office multiple times that year. And so as he's walking to the classroom, she's sitting out the classroom on a chair. And the offense was she threw a yogurt cup during the lunch break. So he looks at her and he was like, "Is this the behavior that you would have at a restaurant?" Raven looked at him and said, "I've never been to a restaurant." Where she had been? In and out of a ton of foster homes. And it was in that moment that Jason really felt like this child did not need disciplinary action. She needed some stability. She needed a win, when in a lot of cases, she just kept being fed losses. And so dealt with the situation and went home and just couldn't shake the feeling he had. So he talked to his wife about Raven, and they had been dealing with infertility, adoptions, and foster care situations that hadn't gone well. And they talked to Raven's social worker. They talked to Raven. Long story short, they opened up their homes to be foster parents for Raven. Well, in 2017, it went more than just a foster relationship into an adoption relationship. Raven said at first she really tested those boundaries, thinking, okay, they're just going to get rid of me like all the other homes have. They were sincere, and she could tell that there was love in the home, and they extended it to her without any strings attached. And now she has her own new family, and she's gone to university, and she's studying to be a social worker. She's graduated, and her life has completely taken on a different trajectory. So a beautiful story of someone just listening to those promptings in their heart. This child doesn't need discipline. This child needs love. I'm Holly Taylor. We're sharing our stories essentially of turning lemons into lemonade after the story of Kaylee, who was left at the altar but did not let that weigh her down. She continued to have a party with the people who were supporting her and loving her through that valley. And so it was a beautiful time. Laughter, great pictures. Because yes, there was a professional photographer there as well. And it was a moment that could have been so devastating. But now she's got stories and is encouraging other people. So what are your lemons to lemonade stories? We got some text messages at 905-338-1250. Producer Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, I got a text message here from Mark. He says, once upon a time, he went to school for social work. Wasn't cut out for it. He's now working in business and says he can help people out a lot more with that degree.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Especially now. Makes sense, hey? If you're in social work, you're like in the throngs of it. I don't know if I could emotionally handle that.
No, that's too much.
But to be able to have business and then be able to financially support the initiatives of those who are in the trenches, I mean, it's amazing how God can use different body parts to create one whole picture. Oh, I love that so much. Thank you for sharing your story today. You just never know how God will use your situation to glorify Him, to further the kingdom. It's amazing how when we make a plan, sometimes God has other plans for us. I heard that saying, want to make God laugh? Make a plan. Yeah. When we forget to include God in our plans, well, sometimes they just don't go the way we think they'll go because He's got something better for us. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here today on Good Company. It's always a blast hearing your stories as we were talking about personal space. And a lot of us definitely feeling a little more uncomfortable in larger settings, although some of you say that it's actually getting a little bit easier now. So I'm so glad that you are able to transition back to feeling more comfortable in some of those spaces that we just weren't able to be in for a couple of years. And I know, too, a lot of people, when it comes to comfortable levels, it's maybe the job that you've had to switch things up. And a lot of people losing jobs, in between jobs. It's been a really interesting struggle on so many different levels, much more serious than just space. So maybe you are finding yourself in a season of transition. You're heading into Christmas. Honest, I've had a few conversations as of late, people in between jobs for one reason or another. And so here is something just to keep in mind. This is according to Hannah Louise, just about getting that next job. And what are some of those things that you have to do mentally to be able to land that next opportunity? And so she would say there's 3 affirmations, one of them being the power of your personal branding. So doing things each and every day, utilizing social media, posting articles, and really kind of creating an online persona of the things you would like to be doing, because you'll start to attract those people who are in those particular vocations. Thanks to algorithms. Science. The other thing is investing in yourself. So doing the courses, reading the books, finding coaches to be able to elevate your skills. You, yes, will be spending money, but it's an investment in your future. And the other thing that she says was to manifest career success, which I think is super important. It's about setting those dreams, creating that vision board, praying about it, and just seeing the things that you are wanting to do. Is that aligning with what you feel God is calling you to do? And maybe it's just a regular job, but you're going to be called to that job for a bigger reason. And it's just something that you enjoy doing. You just never know what opportunities are out there that God will be able to use for his glory. So just continue to find that connection with him. And even though you don't, in some cases, feel qualified for the opportunities that come to you, again, if you are finding peace in saying yes, even though you feel like, I don't know if I belong here, jump in 2 feet. God will carry you the rest of the way. We had some text messages come in about some of the terms that we have heard as, people our age, and we're heading into a season of family gatherings. There's going to be younger people there, and they're going to most likely say words. We don't know what they're saying. So producer Mike is here, and Justine is here, also one of our other producers. And you guys are going to help me, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So we heard in the clip, no cap. We got a text message from Ange saying, he said no cap. What's no cap? I don't know. Guys?
It means you're not lying.
Yeah.
No
Oh.
cap. It's the truth.
It's the truth.
No cap.
No cap. Okay. So we're going to go and try to use these words and embarrass ourselves. So this is maybe not for us to use, maybe just so we understand them better. Okay, this one is from Lisa. She texted in at 905-338-1250. My kids say sus all the time.
Suspect.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
suspicious.
Okay.
You're just cutting the word shorter.
Okay.
So it's sus.
That's so sus.
Kids these days don't have enough time for all the syllables,
Correct.
No, this is one that my nieces and nephews had said around me. Bougie.
I can see that.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Explain. Because I think I know.
You like the greater things, the higher quality
Okay.
of things. I take it as a compliment.
Could it be not?
I mean,
This is great.
That pause says it all. You know what? I'm going to take it as a compliment.
yes.
I got class. Okay. Ooh, what is this one? This is salty? This is Mark texting in. My kids say, ugh, so salty. You're salty. That's salty.
Yeah, so salty would be like you're a sore loser about something, or you're just upset. Like you're the opposite of sweet on something. You're salty on
You're
it.
salty.
So family board game night during Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, the person who flips the table
They're
They're
salty.
salty.
while playing Monopoly. That's
Okay.
That's
That one
salty.
seems pretty self-explanatory. This one, though, big yikes.
Ooh, like mom just dropped the turkey on the floor.
Ooh.
Big yikes.
Big yikes.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Oh,
ooh.
I get that. I think I could decipher that within context.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
bigger than a normal yike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
big yikes.
That's like, that turkey's done. Big yikes.
Yeah.
Game over. No cap.
There it is.
Okay, so if you have any more questions about words you've heard, today's your day. Let's learn together. 905-338-1250. Justine, producer Mike, thank you.
Very
You're
welcome.
welcome.
I'm Holly Taylor, and have you noticed the difference at the till when it comes to shopping for your groceries or even getting ready for Christmas this year? Fun stat, Kevin McAllister of Home Alone went to the grocery store. $19.83 is what his list cost him. Now it's $72.28. So indeed, we are having living experiences of this inflation. It wasn't gradual. It just literally felt like it happened overnight. Producer Mike, I know that we've talked about this off air before when your bag of groceries suddenly costs so much less.
Yeah.
And I mean, so much more, but you got so much less.
Yeah, I used to be able to fill my backpack as I would just walk to the grocery store. Used to cost $40 to $60, depending on what I got. And now it's at least like 70, 80, 90. And it's a small backpack.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you'd stop buying caviar, good grace.
That's it. It's all the caviar and the truffles. It's
There you
just filled
go.
to the brim with truffles.
With your fancy taste.
Yeah.
All right, what are some of those cost-saving tips that you have started to use?
I know I've mentioned this one on the air before, but really taking it easy on those food delivery apps. Yes, it's convenient, but it's so much more expensive.
Yeah.
It's like 20% above just getting regular delivery if you have one of the apps. So being mindful of that. And it's just something that come to mind. You know, this year for Christmas, what I've done is bought donations for people.
Yeah.
So I donated $100 to a food bank in Ottawa for my sister. She lives in Ottawa.
Okay.
So that's donating to her community. I don't know. Is it a cost-saving thing? It's a gift that is really helping somebody who could really use it. And it just feels like that money is so much better spent on that than like jewelry or gift cards or whatever else I could have got her. So
Yeah. No, those are some great ideas.
Yeah.
I love that. You also have like a very big heart, which I really appreciate about you. So
thank you.
It doesn't surprise me that is the route that you took this year.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I have littles, so we are not donating in that capacity. But there are other things that we do. I mean, for their dance studio, they've been doing a food drive, so we've been able to take part in that. Text in. What are you doing this Christmas to try to not break the bank? Which is an extra challenge this year. Not because of us. You know, the inflation was just a fun thing to watch this year, ? 905-338-1250. I got a message here. This is from Sally. She says that she has really tried to give the gift of time. Everyone's so busy. Time has a much higher value than it once did, in her opinion. And so she's giving people the gift of time. I kind of like that, actually. So that could be even like helping somebody out in the sense of you're giving them a gift of your time and they can spend that time however they want to. So for me, like producer Mike would be babysitting so I could go out. That's how I would spend your gift of time.
This is a good gift idea. All right. I'll keep that in mind.
You have the gift of time. How are you going to spend it?